Story 1. Most people are trading time for money anyway in the form of 40 to 60 hours a week. So yes, if you want to retire now on that, for sure it's a good deal. All the time not working lets you live and travel. Story 2. Absolutely. 10 years shorter life, but I could spend all the remaining years doing whatever I wanted instead of wasting them on work. I'd gain far more time than I'd lose. Story 3. I probably only have 20 years left. I'm old, and I don't have anything left to do that takes a lot of money. I have 3 beautiful kids. I have a wife who is pretty awesome. My health is pretty good. I drive a cheap Kia, and I don't need a better car. I can pay to buy some nice ingredients and make nice dinners for my family. I can afford Netflix and Hulu at the same time. I also have YouTube. That's plenty of stuff to watch. I also have a Spotify account, so the music I can access on a daily basis is more than what a billionaire could access in the year I was born. My phone is a Google Pixel. It's really cheap, but it's really awesome. I can ask it things, and it's like magic. It just gives me answers. My doctor and my dentist are both awesome. I don't have any pain. Costco is amazing. I can get great deals on fruit and veggies that I like. All in all, life is amazing. What am I going to do with $20 million? Probably some hookers and drugs, but I did that when I was in my 20s in the Navy, and it's pretty great, but I'm too old now. I probably die. Story 4. Not sure how it would work out. I am poor and have health issues. If I were 20 million richer, it might extend my life such that I would still end up with a gain in years. Story 5. No guarantee you'll make it to a specific age. Accidents happen. Take the deal. At worst, you pass away before you are infirm from old age. 20 million means that you can live every day to the fullest, which is significantly better than living 10 years in a constant struggle. Story 6. Maybe not. I think if I asked my wife or daughter the question, they would want me to live the extra 10 years. I know if the tables were turned and my wife said, 20 million or 10 years off my life, I would not choose the money. Story 7. I would not. I much prefer my time with family and friends to anything money has ever got me. I am also super interested to see what happens in the future. The main thing I would want money for is just to not have to work. Maybe I would save 10 or more years of time by not working, but that is honestly free time my friends or family are working or in school. I work normal hours. When I once had 6 months off work and school, it was nice most of the time, but no one was ever available during the day anyways. Now that said, if I could have $20 million and not have to lose years of my life, obviously that would be insane not to take. It would immediately make my life way easier. Story 8. A big yes. $20 million is enough to sustain my future, my family's future, and secure my parents' future as well. So why not? Living in this world for too long is already suffering anyways. Story 9. Definitely yes, living for 50 to 60 years is enough. Having that huge amount of money, your family's future is secure as long as it's handled the right way. All you can think of while living is to travel or do whatever you want to do before passing. Story 10. Hell yes. The people in my family live incredibly long, the majority of them well into their 90s. I've seen what the last 10 years are like, and I don't want them. Plus, I get $20 million. Story 11. Absolutely. I don't plan to have kids, so I can travel with my significant other around the world at our leisure. And if done correctly, we would never have to work ever again. I'll take that over spending my end of life as a retail worker because our society has obstructed us millennials from being able to retire properly. Story 12. Outside of the fact that you have no idea how much time you have left, we take it for granted. Look at the super rich. They spend insane amounts of money trying to hold on to life by whatever means possible. Shouldn't that be an indicator of what has greater value? Story 13. Yes, it sure would. It would be nice not to have to work for the rest of my life, even if my life is going to be cut short. Not having to work anymore would remove a lot of mental stress. My health would likely improve, losing 10 years off my life, but also adding 10 by having less to deal with that's ruining my life. I think it would break even. Story 14. Not at all. I shouldn't have to lower my life expectancy in order to get quick money. I already worry enough about getting older. Furthermore, consider all the things you could accomplish with $20 million in 10 years. That's a significant investment. Story 15. I take it 100%. Simple math. Currently, I work 40 to 45 hours per week and drive an additional 10 to 12. So let's say 50 hours every week goes to work. With $20 million, I could easily take 75% and put it into index funds, and it would grow enough for me to be comfortable without working my whole life. So, take away work for the rest of my life. I'm gaining 50 hours per week of time. In 10 years, the 20 million pays for itself, in my opinion. Plus, not having to work probably just extended my life 10 years anyway, so the net difference is zero. Without the stress of work, I'd have lived much longer in the original timeline. Yeah, is it Russian roulette if, say, I died in a car crash 5 years from now in the original timeline? 100%. But I'd rather have my will set up and leave my loved ones with $20 million, dying instantly, than feel the pain of the car crash and leave them nothing. Story 16. That's $200 per hour, spread around 87,600 hours. Since the average work hour for Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development countries is 36 hours, that equals about 45 years in a normal workload situation. Since I have yet to work, I can definitely sacrifice the time average people would spend their whole life working and earn more than 200 times the minimum salary. It's like skipping all the time I'll spend working, but I also get to keep all the best years to myself and earn a lot more than I would ever in my life. Any counter-arguments? Story 17. I did the math. If you aren't already a millionaire, that is a deal. I don't know if this was on purpose, but 10 years is more or less the amount of time a person has to work from age 25 to 65. 10 hours per day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month. 11 months equals 2,200 hours per year. 10 hours because I counted travel and lunch, 11 months because I counted holidays and such. 2,200 times 40 is equal to 88,000 hours in 40 years. 88,000 divided by 24 times 365 equals 10.04 years. So yeah, it's a deal. I lose nothing and gain infinite quality of time. Story 18. If I do that, do I age faster or do I simply die younger? If I simply die younger, then I do not see the downside. I would cut off the worst years of my life to live better in the best years of my remaining life. Story 19. In a heartbeat. $20 million will get more than 10 years of extra life, barring accidents, just from being able to get medical issues taken care of as they arise, eating healthier, having time to actually work out, etc. Story 20. To quote my grandfather regarding hot dogs, they say those things are no good for you, and they take years off your life. But they take those years off the end of your life, and those are the ones you don't really want anyhow. Story 21. So that $20 million would drastically improve the remainder of my life and my family's life, so I think I would probably do it. Maybe I'd give 5 years for $10 million. I don't really even need that, honestly. I'm not egotistical enough to be greedy. I just want a decent amount to live on and give my son some inheritance. Story 22. No, I earnestly don't want a lot in life. I've lived most of my life broke, and I've wasted enough of my time to be comfortable as I am now. I get 20 million for a big house that will impress people I stopped caring about when I was young. Better food I shouldn't eat because it's unhealthy, shinier metal products that do the same thing as the cheap stuff. I drive a cheap but effective car, economical and long-lasting. And people act like it's silly that I don't care about having a better one. I don't make payments on it. Story 23. As much as I love money, I could probably find a way to make $20 million in 10 years without shortening my lifespan. Plus, I don't want to miss out on all the future memes and technological advancements. Haha. Story 24. If I only have 9 years to live and I take the deal, do I still get the $20 million and it goes to my next of kin? If yes, then I'm definitely taking the deal. If no, then I'm still probably taking the deal because it's unlikely I'm going to pass shortly. But later on I might not. Story 25. What's 10 years to someone who will live until the heat death of the universe using increasingly sophisticated medical advances? Of course, I'll probably feel differently when death comes to collect in 10 to the power of 106 years. Story 26. Upon the recent saddening news that my coworker's son died of a sudden illness at age 31, I will not be taking this offer. I'm 25, and it kind of shocks me to think that you can just live normally and then be dead not 4 weeks later. Not like I didn't acknowledge accidents before, but a healthy man just entering his prime age just so suddenly. So unfair when there are people throwing their health down hundreds of bottles and needles and living up until their 60s and 70s. Story 27. I would have said yes 20 years ago, but I'm now middle-aged and didn't have kids then. I don't have $20 million, but my wife and I both have good jobs and live comfortably enough. At this point, I'm doing everything I can to maximize my health to get as much time with my kids as possible. I'd rather have an extra 10 years with them than $20 million. Story 28. God, yes. Retire, travel, and enjoy life to the absolute fullest starting immediately. Or slave away at a job for another 25 years, waiting for the occasional vacation, and hoping I am not too old and weak to enjoy retirement. Story 29. Yes, you don't live until you are uninhibited from the daily struggle to survive. Smart people who save get to experience this when they retire, but even then, that means they don't get to live until they are in their 60s or 70s. I want to live now. I want to not be afraid of losing my job, not having medical issues, not having car issues, and still be able to pay my mortgage and put food on my table. Story 30. Right now, I am more than 10 years away from being able to retire. I could immediately start having an awesome life of travel and adventure. So yes, absolutely yes. Story 31. Yes. I would spend my money on international private healthcare for all the people I love, for as long as I am alive, to make sure we are all as healthy as can be for as long as possible together. Story 32. Well, I guess that depends on how long I was going to live. If I was going to die at 60, 50 doesn't give me much time. I won't even get to do the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. But $20 million would take care of college and start a generational wealth cycle for my daughters. Dying at 70 instead of 80 might be worth that. Story 33. What's the trade-off? Losing the 10 worst years of your physical life in exchange for getting to retire now. I'm sold. Probably not worth it for anyone over 60. Story 34. Yes, I have no desire to get old. Existence is pain, and 20 million could do so much good for me. I could quit my job and not have to worry about bills or anything. Can I do it twice? Story 35. There is a story in the No Sleep podcast where a man trades a couple of decades of his life for something, only to realize that the cutoff would not start from the end of his life, but from the front. In other words, you end up becoming older. Story 36. Yes, the last 10 years are often unenjoyable, and problems really start happening. I will definitely take 20 million and enjoy the rest of my life, making a ton of money off that 20 million for the generations that come after me. Story 37. No, I am 40 and about to give birth to my first child. I tried to have a baby much earlier, but it did not work out for me that way. I want as much time with him as possible. I want to get to know him over and over again as he grows through his own life. And I want to do that alongside his father. I cannot think of anything more valuable than my time with them both. Story 38. My wife is 8 years older than me. I would take that exchange. We would be closer in terms of time left on Earth, and I would be happy with that. Less grieving in the future, more money in the present, no downsides. Story 39. Lose 10 years in old age where I'm broken and gain roughly 8 years of healthy age by not working, not even counting commute or overtime. Much better quality of life and only losing 2 years. Yes, I'd totally take it. Story 40. Absolutely, to ensure a safe financial future for my family. But unfortunately, I know the universe might play a cruel joke on me and take me away the next day, saying that I was actually destined to die in 10 years and 1 day. Story 41. 40 hours per week for 30 years. 52.14 times 40 times 30 equals 62,568 hours. 62,568 divided by 24 divided by 365 equals 7.14 years. I already exchanged my time for a fraction of 20 million while giving 7 years. Also, These are 7 years taken from my waking time, which has more significance because when I work, my free time is a lot less. Sleep plays a role. Story 42. Absolutely yes. Case 1. I have more than 10 years left. In this case, I trade the last 10 years of my life, which are likely to be the most unpleasant, for retiring right now and making however long I have left financially worry-free. Case 2. I have less than or exactly 10 years left. In which case, yes, I drop dead, but my brother and his kids, my only family, get the money and are set. Story 43. Absolutely. I'm someone who never fancied getting old and wasting my 70s and 80s away in a nursing home. I'd rather have that $20 million, live like a king, do everything I want to do, visit every country I want to visit, and then die on my own terms. Story 44. I think for most people, work is a time sink greater than 10 years in total, and they feel it is essentially meaningless. It only adds value to their life in the form of remuneration and benefits. So why not go for a transaction that is a better bargain by the numbers? Story 45. If they used the money wisely, a middle-aged person could probably add 10 years to their life. Quit work. Use the money and sudden free time to take up a physical but low-risk hobby. Pay for a nutritionist, personal trainer, cook, and regular health checkups. Story 46. Really depends on if I know when I'm going to die. So if I knew I was going to originally die at 90, I'd take the $20 million for sure and die at 80. But if I was going to originally die at 60 and was going to die at 50 if I took it, absolutely not. But if I had no idea when I'm going to originally die, then I wouldn't risk it.